Hello and welcome back to my channel. So the main question that all of you have had for the past month is, Ava, what the heck is wrong with your skates? You may have seen my breaking in my new figure skates gone wrong video. If you haven't, I highly recommend going and watching that because that was basically me in real time discovering that there is something not right about my new skates. Long story short, my old pair of pianos obviously broke down and died over the summer. That is why I had a lot of tape on them while I was at National Showcase. I probably should have gotten my skates before going to National Showcase, but I guess maybe it's a blessing in disguise. Anyways, I got my new boots, I got them mounted, and the first night I was having a few issues, but I thought since it was the very first session of wearing them, that's really hard to judge if there's something right or wrong with the boot. As the days went on after that, it just got more noticeable and things got worse and worse, and I would try to do a 1 foot glide going forward and it would do an immediate U-turn to the inside without me shifting my weight at all. I had issues on 3 turns, brackets, counters, rockers, where I would go one way that is the normal direction to start the turn, and the blade or the boot, it felt like I was fighting it and I was being pushed the other direction. I think I kind of talked about this in the breaking in the new skates video. I just assumed that maybe for some reason I was having an issue with pronation of my ankles, because I do have ankles that severely pronate inward, which is one of the reasons why I went with pianos, and I've never had an issue with pianos. This isn't my first pair. I've had these skates for years. I've had these blades for the past year and I've had no issues. So this was kind of a very unexpected bump in the road that I've never experienced before. Part of the process that I didn't really film was having Chris, who is one of the coaches for my rink, help adjust my blade placement, because when we started the process, I just assumed that it was my pronation and we needed to adjust the alignment of my blade. We spent so much time doing it. Towards the end, we'd shift it one way and it would be good. We'd shift it the other way, it'd be really bad. But nothing felt perfect. And the reason why I did have to get it adjusted is because when I jumped, I felt like someone was whacking me into my back pain was excruciatingly painful, and I have been down that road before. I've been to the ER. I was not going to do that again. So thankfully we got that changed, and one day my backspin would be perfectly centered, but I couldn't land jumps, and the next day the backspin would kind of travel, but the jumps felt better. Thank you, Chris, if you're watching this, because we spent so much time adjusting it, and we finally got it to a point where for the past few weeks, it isn't perfect, but we reached an agreement where Chris basically told me, he was like, I think there is something wrong with your boot. We have moved it every direction possible at this point. After he had mentioned that possibility to me, I started looking into it and researching if other people had had issues, and I found that there are people out there that have gotten different types of Edea boots where they have had the same exact sensation while they're skating, the feeling that your boot is just fighting you and pushing you a certain direction, or that your weight is never going to be on the spot that it used to be on. Changed nothing about it except get a new pair of boots. And I was like, oh, okay. And the more I looked at my skates, I realized they were kind of warped and misshapen on the bottom. And I remember seeing that when I pulled them out of the box, but I didn't really think anything of it. Now I know. So I asked around and then I took some pictures, and a lot of people said, you know what, you should just reach out to Edea or Skates U.S. So I reached out to Skates U.S. I kind of told them what was going on, sent them some pictures of my boots compared to the old boots that I had, and just asked if there's anything that could be done. And I'm going to be completely honest, I thought they were just going to say, you have to buy a new pair. I'm so sorry, there's nothing we can do. So I was fully prepared to drop another $1,200 on a new pair of boots because I was so frustrated. I had not been skating, I could not compete, and this is not only just something I do for a living, for coaching and all of that, but my competitive skating is what I share online. It's basically my life. I kind of felt like I didn't know who I was without skating. That's bad. I don't want to say that, but it kind of came to the point where I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Thankfully, Skates U.S. got back to me. They said they would talk to the team. They can't make any guarantees. And then an email came through my inbox later that morning. And I remember I almost wanted to cry when I saw the email because they had said, good news, we are granting you a one-time replacement exception. This is something we really don't do, but as a gesture of good faith, we'd like to send you a replacement and you send us back the old boots. I was at a coffee shop and I was freaking out. I'm like, oh my God, I can skate again. And I was super excited. So I was competing a day or two after that. They sent the boots next day. Unfortunately, my skate tech was booked out a month. So I have been with the old boots, but the day has finally come. The new boots have been unboxed and mounted, and that is what I'm going to go over in this video. I'm not even gonna lie, I'm kind of nervous about this. I'm really hoping that these are please let these be good. Oh my God. I'm not even joking. I'm so nervous. Okay, here's the first boot. This looks great. That looks flat for the most part. This looks like a million times better. This looks more even, but now it's time for the right boot. It's got a teeny bit of a scuff on it. As long as it works, if it works, it works. This looks good. I might be a little crazy. I know with the new Edea design, this is taller and it may sit more to the inside, but these pianos to me, like just the fact that this bottom part is flat, this is the left boot. I don't know if you can see it. I notice a little bit of unevenness here, but like I'll go grab my other boots. Okay, so these are the supposed, alleged defective pair. These are the new pair, and these are my previous pair, which is the old design because Edea has changed the boot design for piano, so I wanted to bring in all the pieces. This is the left boot, and I don't know if you can tell, so this is the plate sitting like completely even. It's hard to see on camera, but in person it makes more sense. This part and this part do not sit evenly. I noticed that it sits more evenly on this one. I do know that the new design looks like it moves inward a little bit, and I have skated in these for a couple months, so obviously the new one looks bigger, but like, I don't know. This seems more like not center than this one. I can't explain it. Arguably, I think this is more noticeable on the right boot. This is the heel part sitting dead center. This is not centered on the heel, like this part. If you can tell, like the line is going this way, and I've checked with other people's pianos, the line should have kept going down more, like it should be more here. And then if we look at like the new one they sent me, that looks to be more even. I don't know, maybe I'm insane. No, I can't explain it. The part that might be really noticeable is the fact that this slopes down. It's really noticeable on this side, pushes down. Like, let's look at, okay, so this is the right boot, this is the right boot. Look at how flat that is. That's not flat. The blade is going to sit better on this one than it does on this one, which is part of the issue. I did not put any shims in this. I contacted them before doing that because that's like the last resort. It doesn't sit, that was not like my old skates. I'll insert some clips of this blade on my old boots. It sat flat like how this one looks. So I have hope for the new right boot. The left boot gave me less of an issue. You can kind of see that it sits off center from the bottom heel part here. This sits too far this way, which is also happening on the other boot, which is why I felt like when I first got these, I would go to the inside. Again, there's the manufacturing defect of it sloping. Like, I'm trying not to cut myself here. That lifts like that. That's a problem. Yeah, see, that's not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be flat. Let me go grab the left boot of the new pair. So this is the left boot of the new pair that I have. That looks pretty flat. Granted, there's not a blade on it, but that looks pretty good. Yeah, it's more noticeable here. You see how it goes up and then comes back down? That shouldn't be like that. It should be even all the way around, which is also why I'm having issues and we've had to like mount this completely off center. Now these are my old pair. These are my pair that I purchased in 2024. So this is the shorter ankle design. Maybe these aren't. No, these are the new ones. Yeah, because those are taller. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. That seems more center. Actually, that seems like the most centered, kind of. There's no weird lifting here. There's no weird lifting here. That's flat. Looking at it this way, that's feels pretty flat and level. I skated very well in these. That's flat. Nothing lifts up. Nothing goes like the last pair. That's flat. Nothing goes crazy like the last pair. That profile. So there's this. Yeah. Oh, the new boot, the old boot. New boot, old boot. Oh, that is so This is so much more noticeable. The only thing I'm worried about is the left boot of the new pair. I feel it like having a growth over here. What I wanted to do is take a pair of needles that's completely flat and run it across the bottom. And I mean, it's got, I think that's flat. Like, there's a little bump here, but I think that's pretty normal. Okay, so this is the right boot. It's a little unevenness. But for the most part, that's how that sits. Okay, this is the left boot. That's how that's sitting. See, it's higher on one end. Huh. Wish I had a level. Yeah. So if it sits like that, it's gonna have a little, I think that's less. Yeah, see? It's a little bump. Is that like a new manufacturing thing? These are my old boots to prove that I'm not crazy. That feels, even with the ridges, that sits flat. Here is the left boot. That's flat. Minus the holes, obviously. That's flat. All right, so finishing out the video, I have the new boots mounted. The old boots are off. This sits flat. Now, the only thing is that this doesn't sit, like there's a gap. However, if you remember on the last pair, there was a gap, but this also was very warped. This looks more even. So I don't know what I'm gonna, I don't think I need to do anything. I don't know. And I think the bottom that I was talking about, it feels like it got sanded down. I don't know, maybe I'm insane. I haven't skated in these yet, so we have no clue. But to me, this already looks better than the old boots did. And I know that this is a teeny bit. This is already better than the last one. Yes, it doesn't sit flush perfectly like my other two pairs do on this, but this looks less janky than the last pair, so I don't know. This, just looking at it head on, that looks more even than my old pair. So let's see, this is the right boot, and here's the right boot. Yeah, this one looks lopsided. Everyone in the comments is gonna be like, Ava, I think you're having a moment of psychosis because they look exactly the same. This one looks like it's sitting lopsided, and that one looks like it's perfectly up and down. And now that it's mounted on the blade, which the blade mounting is back to being correct. So it's the correct mounting that the Edeas should have. This is the old left boot, looks a little wonky. That looks better. I don't know why. That is my piano saga. Hopefully it ends. I think there was just something wrong with this pair. Who knows? I think these look better. I haven't skated in them yet, so we'll see. Anyways, that's this update. There'll be more videos coming, but that's this.